Let's talk about a simple topic this time, rounding or estimation. We estimate all the time in our life. For example, if your mom or dad asks you, how much time did you watch screen today? You would think, I think it was only 1 hour. Liar, liar, pants on fire. There are more examples of estimation or rounding. For example, people might ask, what is the wealth of Jeff Bezos? So we know it's lot, right? I mean, it would be something like 200 billion, 100 million, 432 dollars 56 cents. But what we will say? We will round it to the billions. We will say his wealth is $200 billion. That's what rounding or estimation is all about. We round it, we remove the details and we round it to the nearest 10, 100 or 10,000 or a billion, whatever be the case. So let's take some examples and understand how to round it. So let's say I have 0, this is the number line, and let's say I want to round 3 to the nearest 10. So all rounding problems will also tell us rounding to what? Rounding to the nearest 10, rounding to the nearest 100, or rounding to the nearest 1000, and so on. So in this particular case, let's understand the concept by rounding to the nearest 10. So 3 is somewhere here. Let's just assume this is 3. Okay. And to be able to round, let's just find the two closest 10 positions to 3. So 10, 20, 30 in this direction they will go in this, and before 10 there is 0. 0 plus 10 is 10, 10 plus 10 is 20. So these are the two places which are closest to 3. Now, obviously, just by looking, I can tell 3 is closest to 0. So, in this case, 3 will get rounded to 0. Let's take another example, 9. What will happen to 9? 9 is somewhere here. So, 9 will get rounded to 10 because 10 is closer to 9 as compared to 0. So 9 gets rounded to 10, 3 gets rounded to 0 when we are rounding to 10. Another way to look at it is that you have your number. Another way to approach it is you have your number and you have your problem. Round to the nearest 10. So you find the, let's just change the problem also. Let's just say it is 18. I want to find, I want to round 18 to the nearest 10. So what are the two tens that are around 18? One is 10, another is 20. What is the middle point? What is the middle point of these two tens? 15. It's easy to calculate, easy to come up with it. Now where is 18? 18 is this side or 18 is this side? 18 is this side. So 18 gets rounded to 20. Okay. So these are the two ways we can do rounding. Now let's take more examples, complex ones. Okay, let's just take these two examples, 36 and 450. Let's start with this one. First, let's round 36 to the nearest 10. Okay, what are the two tens surrounding 36? 30, 40. Where do you think 36 is? 36 is closer to 40 because it is after 35. So 36 gets rounded to 40 when we are rounding to the nearest 10. Now let's round 36 to the nearest 100. So what are the two hundreds around 36 on this side and this side. So let's say 36 is somewhere here, or we will put 36 somewhere later. But what 100 is bigger than 36? Definitely 100. Which 100 or 0 is less than 36? 0. So 0, 100, 200, like this. We will keep on jumping in hundreds. So now middle is 50, we know that. So 36 is somewhere here. So 36, when we are rounding it to nearest 100, gets rounded to 0. It's an important part. It is sometimes confusing. That's why I'm doing it. So 36 rounded to 10 gets rounded to 40. 36 rounded to nearest 100 gets rounded to 0. Let's move to 450. Let's start with rounding it to nearest 100. Okay, 100. So what are the two hundreds around 450? Of course 500, and this side 400. And in this example we see 450 is right in the middle. So what to do? In this particular case, if it's right bang in the middle, we round it to the bigger number. So 450 when rounded to the nearest 100 gets to 500. 450 rounded to nearest 100 is 500. Now let's do another. 450 rounded to nearest 1000. Again, it is supposed to be a bit confusing. So which 1000 is more than 450? 1000, because it is less than 1000. And there is 1000 is the first 1000. So of course here we will have 0. And somewhere in the middle we have 450. And the middle point is 500. So 450 is this side. So 450 rounded to the nearest 1000 again gets rounded to 0. Important, super important to understand this. Let's just say somebody asks a trick question. 450 rounded to the nearest 10. Okay, but it is already a 10 because it is 50, 50. So if I were to plot it, 440, 450, 460, like this. So the number already sits right here. So this number rounded to nearest 10 is itself. Okay. So it doesn't become 440 or 460. It remains 450. Now let's solve a problem. Another tricky question. So we have 6000. Find the smallest and the largest numbers that are rounded to 6000. We are talking about rounding to the nearest 1000. Okay, let's try and solve it. Let's first find the smallest number. Smallest number. So let's just pick the middle point. 5000, 6000, 7000. Okay, these are the, so numbers from here and numbers from here will ultimately round to 6000. So we need to find the smallest number and the largest number. What is the middle point? The middle point would be 5500. It can be calculated, but I don't want to teach you how to calculate it. You should visually tell. So what is the middle point of 0 and 100? 50. What is the middle point of 0 and 1000? 500. Similarly, middle point of 5000 and 6000? 5500. No calculation required. Okay. So 5500 gets rounded to what? Let's just understand. 5500 right in the middle, it gets rounded to 6000. Okay, so this is one number. What is the number just before 5500? It would be 5499. But because this number is in this part of the number line, it will get rounded to 5000. So the smallest number that gets rounded to 6000 is 5500. Now we will keep counting, 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 and we will reach 6000. So 6000 is, of course, if I talk about 6000, 6000 gets rounded to 6000 because it is already a thousands number. What is the number just before 6000? It would be 5999, correct? And this number is in this part of the number line and it will get rounded to 6000. And this is a large number. So this is the smallest number, this is the largest number. Problem solved. Wrong. Nope. For the largest number you have to go to this side of the number line. So when we are rounding, rounding happens in both the directions, from this direction, from this direction as well, right? From both the sides of the number line rounding happens. So let's understand the middle point of 6000 and 7000. 6500. 6500, it is the middle point. What will be the rounded value of 6500? It will be 7000. So 6500 cannot be our answer, or anything bigger than 6500 cannot be our answer. What is 1 less than 6500? 1 less than 6500 is 6499, and this number, it falls in this part of the number line. And where will it go? It will go to 6000 when rounded. So my actual answer is, the smallest number rounded to 6000 is 5500, and the largest number rounded to 6000 is 6499. Let's talk about other typical rounding problems that you might get in your exams or that you might need to solve. One example is, let's say 5290 multiplied by 17,986. Now the question will tell you, solve this by rounding both the numbers to their nearest thousand. Let's say, for example, okay, so 5290 nearest thousand, quickly. 5290 between 5000, 6000, less than 5500. So it is, nearest thousand is 5000. 17,000, what is the nearest thousand? Let's just do it. So 17,000 something something. So one side of the boundary is 17,000, another is 18,986. Now if I add 14, now let's say we want to solve the same problem, but by this time rounding to the nearest 100. 18,000. So let's start with this number. Just solve this. 5,290. So 5200, 5300. Which number do you think it is closer to? Of course 5300. So this gets rounded to 5300. Now let's talk about the other one. 17,986. So 17,800, 17,900, and after this what will come? 18,000. Where do you think this number is? This number is very close to 18,000. Okay, so 17,986 gets rounded to 18,000. 17,950 is the middle point. And where is this number? In this part. That's why we rounded it to 18,000. Now let's solve the same problem again, but by rounding to the nearest 10. So we will have a flavor of everything. So 5290, it's already at a tens place. So 5290 rounded to 5290, no change. 17,986, 86. So number line 17,980, 17,990. Where do you think is the number? 981, 82, 83, 84, 86. So closer to 17,990. So this number rounded to the nearest 10 becomes 17,990. And we solve this multiplication and give our answer.
Now, in this post-credit video, let's talk about estimation and rounding in real life. Now, you may not need to calculate highest common factor or lowest common multiple after you have graduated from college. But believe me, whatever job you are part of, whether you are a writer, an architect, or an engineer, or whatever be the job, you will have a boss who will want to know how much time it will take for your task to complete. In other words, he will want to know an estimate of the time it will take. So estimation, rounding, these are not just mathematical notations. These are not just mathematical concepts. They are everyday things. You will come across them every day in all walks of life. Let's say you are a civil engineer. You have to build a large building like this. So you will need to come up with a plan and estimate how much time it will take. You will also have to come up with an estimate how much material you need, how many people you will need. Will the airline executives allow us to board with this particular luggage? What is the weight? So what do? We lift it. If we don't have a weighing machine, what do? We lift it and we estimate, we round the number, we round the weight based on our gut feeling to the nearest kilogram. We say it feels like 15 kilos. We never say it feels like 15.65 kilograms, right? Same is the case with any capacity. Let's say there is a tumbler or a bucket and you want to know, somebody asks how much water it can hold, how much so what you will say, you will again round it to the nearest liter, assuming it is large enough. You will say it will hold most likely 5 liters, 3 liters. You will not say that it will hold 3.35 liters, right? Unless you exactly know the actual volume of that container. So we all the time do rounding. And it could be about pricing also. It could be a beautiful car and somebody asks you what is the price. So in those cases we will round the price to the nearest thousand if we are talking about US dollars. So it could be $35,000. If it's a resale car, we could say $10,000, $11,000, something like that. So we always round to the nearest thousand, 10,000, million, billion, or whatever the case may be. Rounding and estimation are everywhere.